morning, everybody. Welcome to Magpie's Nest, and today what we're going to be making is some delicious banana bread. And the first thing that we want to do whenever we're baking something is make sure that our pans are prepped and that our oven is preheating. So we're wanting to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And then for those of my viewers that bake at higher elevations, you are going to want to set your ovens to 325 degrees, just to take into account that things don't need to bake as long at higher elevations. Alright, then our next thing that we're going to do is get our pans prepped. And this recipe says that it makes 2 regular sized bread loaves. So I'm going to get both of them prepped, but I might end up doing some muffins and a bread loaf. I'll just see how much batter I have once we get it mixed. Then, oh, where's my spread? There it is. So then, oh, you have no sound? Let's see. Oh, you had me muted. Okay, I see. Oh, all right. Are you hearing me okay? Okay. Well, you're never the problem cat, but... All right. How are you doing this morning, cat? Oh, thank you for the host, Kat. That's so nice. Thanks so much. All right, well, we have our pans sprayed now, and our oven is preheating, once again, to 350 degrees. But if you're baking at a higher elevation, then you're going to want to turn that down to 325 degrees. All right, so then our next step is we're actually going to get our ingredients all scaled out, and just like I said last time, I did post a cute little image of what ingredients we were going to be using today, and that is our current list right now. And it doesn't take too many ingredients, which is really, really nice. I'll just go ahead and set that aside. And I'm going to get my dries measured out. So we'll need 3 cups of flour. And just like every other time measuring something out, just use something to kind of like tap it down and then spread it out. I think if you have a mixer that will handle all of the batter, then I think you definitely can. It's been a really long time since I've made this specific banana bread, and so I'm not really sure how big the batch would be. I mean, I just have a standard KitchenAid mixer. It's well, you're going to be getting quite a lot of banana bread, Korg. And welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Right, yeah, you're going to bring some to your parents. I am sure they're going to love it.
Ice cream and cake and cakes. Ice cream and cake and cakes. Ice cream and cake and cakes. Ice cream and cake and cakes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that scared me. Are you happy to get you did the thing. Yeah. Oh, it didn't show, huh? I'll have to check that out once I'm done here. I know I had the sound, but I do remember that was the follow sound, so thank you for the follow, Korg Gamer. Oh, okay. That would make a lot of sense that it's behind my main image. All right, so I've got my, oh gosh, that bowl is way too small. All right, so now I gotta bring out my bigger bowl for my flour, but that's okay. We're going to be mixing together all of our dries pretty much. Well, thank you for helping me test my settings live. I appreciate that. Alright, so we have our flour, and the next bit that we're going to need is our salt. And I don't know why, I split up all of my ingredients today on my table, and that's not a good thing. Alright, so for salt, we're going to need 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. Then I'm going to look at my notes here just for higher elevation. So it looks like we're going to keep the salt at 1 teaspoon for higher elevation baking. So we'll just throw that 1 teaspoon right on into the flour. Oh, I forgot high elevation notes for flour. So for the flour for higher elevations, you're going to add 1 tablespoon for every 1 cup of flour. So since I have 3 cups of flour here, you'll want to do 3 cups and 3 tablespoons for higher elevations. And so then the next one is baking powder. Baking powder is super handy. It's one of our lovely leavening agents. And for our regular recipe, we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon. Make sure it's nice and flat on top. But then for higher elevations, you're going to want to reduce that down to 1/4 teaspoon. And I did a whole bunch of research yesterday and the day before about higher elevation baking. And I learned that the higher up you are, the quicker leavening agents and yeast will actually develop bubbles, which is what they do, is that they develop bubbles in whatever you're baking to give it that nice, light, airy texture, and it's just one of the magics of baking. And so for using leavening agents or anything with yeast in it, you're going to want to reduce the amount of leavening agents, or for yeast, you're going to want to use really cold water just to try and slow down the yeast's process of developing bubbles in your dough. And so that was super fun to learn about. Like, I've been a baker for a really long time, and I'd never even realized that. Well, I did realize that depending on your elevation and the weather and the time of year, your baking can be very different based on the natural amount of moisture in the air can affect your ingredients. But I did never realize that there were, so many different things that needed to happen at higher elevations for baking to work in the same way. So that was really cool. Then, okay, so we have our flour, our salt, and our baking powder together. And then we're just going to set this aside for now. Then our next step is we're actually going to go into, oh, my chat box is covering it up, but I do have my KitchenAid mixer here with my paddle attachment, which is very important to have a paddle attachment with this recipe. Here, I'll take it off just so I can show it. Come on, it's sticking a little bit. It's camera shy. Alright, so this is our paddle attachment, and it's very important during mixing that if you have to use the creaming method, which is when you take solid unmelted butter and your sugar and you have to cream them together to get the butter in a nice light airy texture, just so you won't have butter lumps in whatever you're mixing. Because if you have butter lumps, oh, there's the oven, and if you have butter lumps in whatever you're mixing together, then it just won't turn out right. My lovely butter lumps. What's that one Will Ferrell movie where they're like ice skating? It's the one Will Ferrell movie I actually enjoy, but I remember a scene where he's like on a treadmill and he's talking about doing a song by Fergie, that My Hump song. And it was, yes, Blades of Glory. That's what it is. Wait, Blades of Glotty? That's funny. But yes, Blades of Glory, that's what it is. I love that movie so much. It's like the one Will Ferrell movie I actually enjoy. Because there's just a lot of his roles where he's just a little annoying. Okay, so we're going to cream our butter and sugar together. And, and we will be measuring out half a cup of granulated sugar. And we'll just keep that aside because we're going to cream our butter a little bit first just to soften it before we add in all of our sugar. So then we'll just take our lovely 8 tablespoons of butter. I forgot to say that. And then just pour it right into the mixer. And then, sorry if my mixer is a little loud. It's an old model of the mixer. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, it's loud, but hey, it's a mixer. It's better than having to cream butter and sugar by hand. So, which I've had to do that a lot. Alright, so we're going to let that soften. Then our next step will be to measure out our liquids. And so our liquids, we're going to be doing 2 eggs, which do count as liquids. And I have those set aside already, so that's fine. Then our other liquids are going to be our honey. And for that, we will need 1/3 of a cup. And the honey will not change for higher elevation, so you can use just 1/3 of a cup, and that number will stay the same. A couple of good squeezes there. Oh, I love honey so much. I love the texture, I love the consistency. I just like bees. Bees are great. I know I've told this little tidbit pretty much at every event and gathering that I've ever been to, but you know, there's a couple of fun little facts about bees, that bees as a species want to either focus on honey production or not procreation, but I guess breeding. And usually a beehive there's different species of bees, and the few that I know about that are really popular to American beekeepers that are usually Italian bees or Russian bees. And I believe that Italian bees focus more on honey production rather than breeding. And Russian bees are the opposite, that they will... Do bees have accents? I don't know. Maybe. Well, bees don't speak. They communicate through shaking their butts. That they will they'll flap their wings and they will do complicated walking patterns to communicate different messages to the bees in the rest of the hive. And so, I mean, maybe maybe the Italian bees talk with their front little feelers a lot, you know? No, no, that's not right. But are you okay today, Kat? You're having a case of the shaky fingers. Are your fingers trying to communicate like the bees? Anyway, I will send help. I will send help with a loaf of banana bread. And but okay, so we have our 1/3 of a cup of honey measured out. And then inside, including with that, yes, words, myself, I will measure out 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And once again, for higher elevations, this does not need to change either. And, you know, just the same as last time, if you don't like a lot of vanilla or you like a lot of vanilla, you can add a little bit extra. Not a ton, because it does end up being a liquid, so it can change a bit of the chemistry of what you're making, but not too bad. Okay, so we have our honey and our vanilla, and our butter is pretty soft, so now we'll just pour the sugar right on in. And it is always important to remember to scrape whatever attachment you have on your mixer. Because because I do have some butter lumps on my paddle attachment actually, so I do need to go back and cream my butter a little bit longer. And that's why we check to scrape our attachments. Alright, so we'll let that cream for a little bit longer. We'll just let that go. Gather up my things. How is everybody's morning going? Going good? My whole coffee mug covers my face. I feel like that neighbor from Home Improvement, that Tim Allen show, you know, that just talks from behind the fence. What if I just did the whole cooking thing? Yes, Wilson. Yes, Wilson. What if I just did this the whole time? You don't know what I'm saying. Good morning. Good morning, April Morrison. How are you today? Welcome to the Magpie's Nest. I am Magpie. Today we are making delicious banana bread. And we are just getting it going. We have our oven preheated. We have our pans sprayed down. And I'm just going through the beginnings of the recipe. We have our butter creamed. My mixer is covered up by the chat box, but that's okay. It's there. Trust me, it's there. And we're just going to be pouring our half a cup of sugar right in there. I'll set that aside. All right. So then we do want to let this go for a bit. Yes, banana bread is amazing. And this one, it doesn't use as many bananas as I have because I bought a ton of very green bananas about 2 weeks ago, and I've been waiting for them to turn. So now my bananas are nice and bruised and brown. They're great for banana bread. Oh, cute, a little banana emoji. That's so cute, yeah. All right. And just like before with the creaming method, we'll stop the mixer, we'll scrape it down, make sure there's no butter lumps hanging about. When I was in culinary school, I actually had a teacher who, I believe, yes, she was our European cakes and torts teacher, and she joked a bit. I mean, it was a joke, but, she was a little serious, that she said that if anybody had butter lumps in their cakes, in their cake batter, oh, this looks like a cooking show. I'm hoping I would like this to be a cooking show. I'm doing my best. This is my second stream. And I think I'm doing all right thanks to all the help that the cat is alive has provided me. That she's a dear, dear friend, and she's helping me figure this out so that I'm able to do things and, you know, look a little professional, as I say in my flannel, because that's professional. um, but anyway, so I had a teacher in culinary school that would. Oh, this is your first live stream? Oh, well, welcome. Oh, I'm so happy that you picked me to be your first live stream. Welcome, welcome. Oh, that's so exciting. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, that's so exciting. That makes me feel really good. Yes, all the hype. That's so great. Right, so I have my eggs cracked, my 2 eggs. And then that just needs, our butter and sugar just needs a little bit longer. Just got to make sure it's the right, nice, fluffy texture, not temperature. Alright, then while we're waiting for that, I will get my bananas kind of squished up. And it's just 3 bananas. Mine are kind of small, so I might throw in a 3rd. Oh, thank you. Thank you for following. Oh, that's so nice.
Ice cream and cake and cakes.
Yay!
Ice cream and cake and cakes. Ice cream and cake and cakes. Ice cream and cake and cakes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, April Morrison, for following me. That's so amazing. Oh, this is so great. All right. So I have the 3 bananas, and I'm just going to use my spatula since it's right here. They just need to be lightly mashed because they will finish up mashing in the mixer. Thank you. I'm so happy to know that there are people out there enjoying my live stream, people enjoying my recipes. I will, if you have any recipes that you would like to see made, or you would like to see different versions, because everybody bakes things a little bit differently. It's just like family recipes, you know, cooking in the family. Things are always a little bit different from other families. Even your neighbors right next door to you, they could make, you know, spaghetti different from how your family makes spaghetti. And so if there's anything that, you know, you make at home that you would love to see some different variations on, definitely, you know, suggest them. I'll write them down and I'll find something. That way you could learn, you know, do something new. Or do you make, oh, I do. I love making cupcakes. I haven't made any cupcakes yet. My very first live stream, I made brownies. That was something that over in the Cat is Alive's stream that it was brought up last week, and it just sounded like fun. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can make brownies. I'll do a stream for brownies, and you know, if anybody wants to bake along, they definitely can. So that's, you know, kind of how that this all started. And yes, the brownies were super delicious. And I was only able to get a few. My boyfriend and my roommate, they attacked those brownies. Yes, so if you wanted to watch my previous stream, you can go to my channel and you can go under videos. I believe it'll be under videos. That I will have it uploaded there. Or if you wanted to, I have a YouTube channel that, yes, I do have it. Oh, you have the link ready. Thank you so much, Kat. Yes, I do have, I will be uploading all of my streams onto YouTube just because, you know, I would rather have multiple copies around just in case I lose something, then I'll have them available for anybody to watch. Yes, mod's gonna mod. You are a great moderator, and I'm very grateful to have you in my corner. Alrighty, so then we have our butter nice and creamed, And it will be nice and light and fluffy. It will, well, that's a little bright. Let me fix my light real quick. It's just a little too direct. Let's just see about that. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, so our butter is nice and light and fluffy, and you should be able to kind of like run your fingers through it and not have any butter lumps in it. If you do have any butter lumps, then just mix it a little bit longer. It doesn't need much. So then our next part here is we're going to add our 1/3 of a cup of honey and our 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we'll just scrape that right into the bowl. Thank you. I'm glad this is fun to watch. I was a little nervous. It's much easier now to kind of feel like I'm talking to myself when in reality I am talking to people. They're just not in the room with me. So yes. So then we will let this mix until it's completely incorporated. We'll stop the mixer and we will scrape it down just to make sure that we don't have any butter that has clung to the bottom of the bowl. Which in baking, it is always safe to just stop what you're doing and to scrape the bowl, because you can never, well, I won't say you can never scrape the bowl too much, but it is always good to play it safe. Well, I'm glad it's fun. I'm very happy that you're here and that it's fun to watch me cook. Right. So then I'll stop this and just scrape it down. And it won't come together completely because butter is a fat, and even though we have added the sugar in there to kind of break up that structure, it just won't combine completely with the honey or the vanilla because there's still a lot of fat in the way from, I guess, the sugars to coat it. But that's all right. It might look a little separated, but we just want there to be no lumps of butter. All right. Okie dokes. Then we'll just let that go a little bit. And then our next step will be to add our 3 mashed bananas in. Is everybody having a good time so far today? Just hanging out, making banana bread. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I'm very sorry about that. I hope everybody's being taken care of and everything's going to be all right. Alright, so we have our bananas added in, and it will look even more separated now, but that's just because we've added a lot more liquid in there around the fats. But just scraping down the bowl and scraping the bottom of the bowl. Yeah, that's happening everywhere. But eventually we'll get back. You know, it's definitely a little hard to not have an actual date that everybody could go back to work, or at least to know when we're able to, I guess, be in groups bigger than 5 again. Um, but we're all doing our best. This is a situation that, none of us could be really ready for, at least in that capacity. Yeah, Kat's working from home. I was laid off from my job because I'm a baker. I work in a bakery, and restaurants and bakeries can't have really anything except takeout now. I've been seeing a lot of places set up something like a table right outside their front doors. That way, you're here to pick up an order, and they'll bring their order to you, set it on the table, and then you pick it up, which is, I guess, is a good way to keep from even just that person-to-person interaction. Somebody standing at the till, paying for their order, and then coming, grabbing their order and leaving. But yeah, cleaning the house. I've been doing a lot of that too, and it's nice. Alright, so then, once we've got our butter or sugar, honey, vanilla, and bananas together, then we'll be adding in our eggs. And we'll just be pouring in 1 egg at a time. There's only 2, so not that hard. But we'll pour in the 1 egg and really make sure that it's nice and mixed in. And we don't need to scrape down the bowl with just the 2 eggs, since there's already so much liquid in the bowl that there's really no risk of the egg causing something to stick to the sides or the bottom of the bowl. But in other cases, when we're adding eggs into something that has a lot more sugar or a lot more butter in there, where we have a little bit more body to the mix, then we will make sure to scrape down the bowl, just so that the egg has been distributed throughout the entirety of the batter. But then we'll add in our second egg, and we'll just set those aside. Alright. And now we're able to hand mix this batter, because we'll want to hand fold in the dries. And this would also be the point where if you're adding anything in, like nuts or chocolate chips, or me personally, I'm adding chocolate chips and peanut butter chips, that we will be adding in, I believe, 1 whole cup. Yes. So for any additions, we'll be adding in 1 cup of anything. So if you have 2 things that you're adding in, like peanut butter and chocolate, I'll be doing 1/2 cup of each. So I'll be measuring those out. Yeah, I thought so. I thought, peanut butter and chocolate chip banana bread sounded really good. It's definitely towing the line of dessert, but it's still technically breakfast. We'll have that 1/2 cup. And then 1/2 cup of peanut butter. And I'll just set that aside. And then we will grab our dries that we measured out before. And just going over the dries again, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And the higher elevation amounts for those, if anybody is baking at a higher elevation, is you will be using 3 cups and 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. You will reduce your baking powder to 1/4 teaspoon instead of 1/2, and the salt will stay the same at 1 teaspoon. So then I have our dries right in here, and then I'll just fold. And the way to fold something in, at least the way to kind of hold it, is you will have your rubber spatula pointed down, and you'll have your spatula pressed right up against the edge of the bowl. And then you will just do kind of like a 3/4 clockwise turn, and kind of like pick up some of the wets from underneath and fold it over the dries in the middle of the bowl. And that's just a way of mixing something together without adding a lot of air. I will eat it. I'm not going to eat it on stream just because that's just something I'm not very comfortable with. I don't know, just seeing me eating something on camera just feels a little silly. So I will be posting pictures on my Instagram and then also on my Twitter of the finished product once I have it cut and put up on a plate. But we will bake this together and I will show you the finished product before I cut into it. So then this is starting to get nice and thick. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's just kind of like something that I don't really like the thought of. Just because I really enjoy food. I really enjoy eating food and making food, and I know that I don't really, I guess, edit the way that I look when I'm eating, and so I know it can, probably look a little, not silly, but I don't know. I don't want there to be, a gif or a meme of me, like, stuffing my face with banana bread. Alright, so now our dough is really nice and thick, and it is proper quick bread, is what this is technically called, because it is a bread dough that we have additives in, but we aren't making a sponge dough. And James, good morning, James. Welcome to our breakfast banana bread stream. And I'm just finishing up mixing the bread now. I have our dough mixed. I have my inclusions here. I'm adding in peanut butter chips and chocolate chips. You're here to drool. Well, good. I'm glad you're here to enjoy it. So then I'll just, whoopsies. All right, so I poured in my chocolate chips and my peanut butter chips. So now I will just fold those in to get those nice and mixed in. How is your morning going, James? Yes, peanut butter chips. I went to the grocery store yesterday because I didn't have any honey for this recipe, so I had to go pick up some honey. And in the baking aisle, I found these peanut butter flavored baking chips. And it sounded really good because Elvis, at least the Elvis sandwich, or at least, the artist Elvis Presley, he, I guess, had a sandwich where it was like peanut butter and bananas on a sandwich. And so that just sounded really, really good. Oh yes, and bacon. Thank you. So peanut butter and chocolate and bananas just sounded like a really good combination. That way, like, when this bread is all baked up, you just take a slice of it and you heat it up and just put like a little bit of butter on there and you're ready for a very dessert-like breakfast. I really enjoy Elvis too. My mom is a really big fan of Elvis, and it just seems like, I really enjoy seeing those videos of Elvis just kind of like hanging out, and the way that he danced, I always thought looked really funny, but it's like, that was the time, and it was really great. Those are all your favorite things? Yeah. Alright, so like I said before, at the beginning, this recipe makes it says it makes two regular sized loaf pans of banana bread. So I'm going to see if I can split them up evenly between the two pans. If I'd thought about it, I would have grabbed my scale. But if one of these is a little bigger than the other, then that's okay. So then we'll just split these up between our two sprayed down pans. And coffee. Yes, I have some coffee right to the side of me, but I've been talking so much that I haven't really taken any sips of my morning coffee, but that's okay. I'm having a good time talking to you guys. It's really nice to have at least some kind of a social interaction, even if it's through the internet and through a chat board. You don't drink coffee? Do you like drinking tea or milk? Or some people drink. At least I drink a lot of water. So what's your favorite morning drink? All right. Oh, nice. Oh, tea. Yep. Do you have a favorite kind of tea? I really enjoy drinking herbal teas, usually something that has a citrus in it, or peach is really, really good. Oh, you can make poles and shovels now. That's great, Kat. Yes, my friend Kat, she recently, yesterday actually, she received the new Animal Crossing game, and so she's been having a really fun time playing that. I'm super excited for her to get her island put together. That way, uh, we can visit each other's islands, and I can show off all of my. Oh, you're working. You're working hard, or you're hardly working. Orange Pico. I've not had a Pico tea, but that sounds delicious. Okay, so we have our 2 pans of banana bread ready to go. I have them split pretty evenly. And our oven is preheated to 350 degrees. So now they're just going to go right on in. And this recipe says that they're going to bake for about an hour, but I'm going to set my timer to 45 minutes. Always set a timer below the time it says it takes to bake, because the oven settings of the person who made this recipe could be way different from your personal oven settings. So it's better to err on the side of caution. So I'll set a timer for 45. All right, and there we go. So we've got 45 minutes to kind of hang out and chat. I'm going to put some of my dishes in the sink. Oh, hi. My cat Gordon is here to say hello. He saw a cat outside the backyard window, so he's been very, very curious to try and make friends. Definitely always wash your hands. I washed my hands before I started, but it's always important that if you're doing anything while cooking, you want to wash your hands before doing that thing and then before coming back to cooking. Especially now, where it's very important that everybody stays healthy. And everybody stays hygienic. Thank you, April. Thank you. I just finished painting my kitchen and my dining room this lovely pink color just a couple days ago. So it's definitely really great. Yes, definitely always washing your hands. Hygiene is super important, especially right now, and even in your own home. It's always good to get into the habit of, if I'm cooking and then I'm going to do something else, like even if I was touching my phone, I would have to wash my hands before coming back to cooking, just in case. Thank you. Yes, I believe I think it's called Cool Pink, but I really love it. And I've got, it's pretty much just one long hallway. Directly behind my computer here is my dining room, and it's the same color pink, and I love it so much. Um, Actually, in the future, sometime soon, I'm going to be painting some flowers, kind of above the door, where my finger is. Yeah, right there. I'll be painting some flowers above the door and just adding some cute little, additives on the walls, just to. I mean, I'm a very artsy person, so I definitely love doing, as much as I can to make something look very unique. All right. Yeah. All right. So, does anybody have any questions about the banana bread or the process that we did to make the banana bread today? Yeah. Got my notebook here for any recipe suggestions. I know, April, you said before that you wanted, that you asked if I made cupcakes, and I haven't yet, but I am definitely all open to the idea of making cupcakes. If you have a specific kind of cupcakes that you would like to see, then I would definitely work towards that. I am working on some gluten-free recipes because I know I have a few people who are gluten-free families or gluten-free individuals. So I think the next one that I want to make is gluten-free sugar cookies, because I think that would be a really fun recipe. The one that I've looked through, it has a couple of different variations to where you could bake them as cutout cookies, because I have some Animal Crossing cookie cutouts that I really wanted to use. I haven't had the opportunity to use them yet. I had a friend who was going to have an Animal Crossing release party for when the newest game came out, and he and I were working together to make some treats to go along with that. So I had ordered these Animal Crossing cutouts, and I haven't even opened the package yet. I got them in the mail just as everybody was, being told, like, don't have parties, don't have social gatherings, stay home, social distance. So we're like, yeah, okay. Oh, that's a really great idea, Kat. Yes, I haven't played around with the equipment that you borrowed to me yet. That was going to be my plan for the next few. But yeah, I'll probably play around with it today after this stream is done, just to check out all the settings. But yes, I do agree that would be that's a really good idea to have a top-down image. Chocolate cupcakes? All right, so I'll write that down. April Morrison suggests chocolate cupcakes. I love chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is my favorite. Yes, I was actually just going to say that. I have so many favorite desserts. Chocolate is definitely really great. I'd say that's one of my favorite things to bake with, because you can do so much with chocolate. Right now, my favorite dessert, I'd say, is like a chocolate lava cake. Something that is really warm and it's filled with warm melted chocolate, and you cut into it and all the chocolate just flows right on out. That is just really delicious. I've been able to make them in like a coffee mug before. At least when I had a microwave. We moved into this house in February, and we don't have a microwave yet, but that's okay. So I'd have to figure out how to make a lava cake in the oven, because usually I would take some coffee mugs, I'd make the batter and spoon it into the bottom of the mug, and then put some chocolate ganache into the middle and then scoop more batter on top of it and microwave it until it was done. That way you'd have like individual little mug cakes that you could carry around and, you know, just snack into whenever you wanted. Um, yeah, doesn't that sound delicious? Um, but it would be really easy to be able to make lava cakes in the oven. I can use a cupcake tin. I have a really big muffin tin that I could use easily. Um, but I'd say, anyway, back to your question, James. My all-time favorite dessert is tiramisu, which is an Italian dessert uh, that has mascarpone cheese, which is a similar texture to cream cheese. Um, I'm not exactly sure what the process of making mascarpone cheese is. Oh, that's the first thing you ever baked. Oh, that's so cool. Did you, what was your process that you used? Did you make your own little ladyfinger cookies, or did you use like a cake layer? Yeah, tiramisu is so delicious. I've made it for myself for my own birthday for many years. I know I have good taste. I'm a baker. This is, but yes, tiramisu is amazing. It's so good. My the last time I made it was for, oh gosh, how old am I now? Oh, okay. I made it for my 23rd birthday because it wasn't this past one or the one before. Yeah. So for my 23rd birthday, I made this huge bowl of tiramisu um, that I had it set up almost as like a really large. Oh shoot. It was like a really in a really large bowl. That way, you just take a ladle and you just scoop a whole bunch of it and just put it right into a bowl. Hey, making eggs all by yourself is really impressive. Eggs are can be really hard to make. I'm not able to do a sunny side up egg because I just have this urge to flip the egg so that it cooks all the way through. But yeah, making eggs is really cool. That's really great that you're able to do that. Bought me amaretto. And oh, you used pre-made ladyfingers. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, traditionally with tiramisu, you want the ladyfinger cookies, which is a piped out batter for a very airy, light cookie. And you bake them and you let them sit out. That way you actually have technically stale cookies because you soak them in the espresso and amaretto and they absorb all that liquid. And since they're stale, they'll still hold their shape since they don't have their naturally occurring moisture in them from when they baked. So, alrighty, yeah, yep. Come back anytime you want, Kat. Yeah, need to make a trip for tiramisu items. That would be one. I'll write that down because that's one I could definitely make. It would probably be a two-part stream. I'd probably, you know, prep out everything the first day, make the ladyfinger cookies, and then the next day would probably be a short stream for assembly. So I'll write that down. I'll write it down as like a joint suggestion between you and Kat. Kat and James. Tiramisu. But yeah, tiramisu is so delicious. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh. All right. So we've got about half hour till our first check of banana bread. Not sure what to do right now. What is what's a dessert that agree. You create different flavors of Oreo truffles. That's really cool. What was your flavor this last year? What combination did you do? Because that's a pretty classic. Well, yeah, classic dessert to make that is enjoyed by everybody because you know I'm sure most everybody loves Oreos. I know there's a few people out there that don't like Oreos, but that's fine. More Oreo truffles for the rest of us, right? Oreos are delicious. Do any of you prefer the original thickness of the frosting or do you like the double stuff? Because I like the double stuffed Oreos. Those are my personal favorites. So you did. Oh, okay. So double chocolate Oreos. Yep. Crush them with cream cheese and roll them into balls and covered in dark chocolate. That sounds really good. Do you have a lot of family holiday events that you bring them to? Or is it just kind of like you make them for yourself and then you just kind of like enjoy them? Oh, mint Oreo. Covered in white chocolate. That sounds really good too. Mint chocolate's a really good combination. You know, some people think it's like, oh, why are you eating chocolate with that toothpaste flavor? It's like, no, it's really good. It's different from toothpaste. Mint Oreo is delicious. Or mint chocolate. My mistake. Yeah, you got a couple parties. Those would be really good party snacks because people can just like fill a little drink cup with them and walk around and eat them. At least that's what I would do. I'm not just going to have a few on a plate and look like I'm being polite with the rest of the food. No, I'm going to fill a cup and those are mine. These are mine. And I'm going to eat all of them. Yeah, I always feel like when I'm making food for parties, I have to make a lot just because I know if I find something I enjoy at a party, I'm going to be hard pressed to stop eating it. That it's like, oh, this is so delicious. Who made this? I need your recipe. I need to know how you made this. And I'll just keep snacking and keep figuring out like, oh, what's in this? Did you use this? Oh, did you use this? I love gathering up recipes that people have made. I like knowing what people enjoy. Um, Going to any event, I love making something, even if it's not baked. You know, I'll bring a crock pot full of soup or cheese dip just for something to be there. Because I definitely feel like if somebody is hosting you, then bring a bottle of wine, or if they have a lot of alcohol or they don't drink alcohol, then bring a delicious snack. Because then that's something that everybody can enjoy, everybody can chat about it or chat around it, and good food brings people together. Definitely like a ratatouille type sensibility about it, but it is really good. Good food makes people happy. Or rum ham, it's both. What? What is rum ham, Cord? That's something I've not heard of before. I mean, that sounds good. It's like, oh, snack and booze. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely bring both. Um, snack and booze. Yeah, that's definitely viable option for going to parties. Bringing something, something that you could pair with the food that you bring, or baking or cooking with alcohol. Doing like a pastry. Like I've done quite a few where I've had fruit. Like pears are a really good one. Pears are really good to simmer in wine, and like you peel them and then you'll simmer them in a pot of wine, and they'll just absorb the delicious flavor right into there. And you can, slice those up and add those onto like a fruit tart or a pie. Doing like a rum-soaked bread, like for banana bread. Last week when we were talking about recipes to do this stream, one of the suggestions was banana rum cake, which would be very similar to like banana bread. It would be like a banana-based cake, like a pound cake almost, and then you would cook down some rum with a little bit of sugar added in there and just brush it right on top of the cake, and that would be really good. Boozy desserts are something that were really popular a couple years ago, like making like a mousse cake and adding in alcohol right now. Or oh, you're working. Oh, what are you up to, April? If you're all right talking about that, definitely would love to know more about my viewers, my lovely followers. Uh, oh, you're listening? That's fine. Yeah, you're more than welcome to lurk, Kat. I'm just going to keep rambling away, talking about baking and talking about all the fun stuff we can bake. And I have a little... oh, I'm at lucky 13 followers. That's so great. Oh, this is so crazy. Oh, my second stream and 13 followers. You all are so amazing. Thank you so much, so much. This is so great. Oh, that's so exciting. Well, definitely glad that, we're on our way. We'll be doing a lot more fun things, and the more streams that I'll do, the more, I don't want to say complicated, but we will eventually be getting into some more fancy recipes. I know Kat wants to see macarons made, and that's something that will happen. I am wanting to do some angel food cake. I'm still unpacking because I have a ton of baking things, but I was unpacking a box the other day and I found an angel food cake tube pan, so that will be something that I'll do soon. And I do have quite a few gluten-free recipes written down. I have the sugar cookies, and you'll eat angel food cake by the fistful. Well, oh, it's raining outside. Yeah, it's a little gloomy here too. Do you like the rain, April? Because I enjoy when it rains. During the day, I like when it rains, but at night, I can't get to sleep if it's storming too hard. It just keeps me awake, just a little bit anxious, Yeah, because just having a window just slightly open during a rainstorm, it's quiet. You can just hear the tap, tap, tap of the water on the window. Just is really nice. It's very calming. Oh, your dad used to buy it. Oh, you'd cut a quarter of the cake and oh, I can see that happening. I'm the same way, because angel food cake is so light and delicious that you can eat it by itself, or you can have it with fresh fruit, or with, sugared fruit, or, oh, evening storms again today. Well, that's okay. Hopefully they're not too bad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't enjoy thunderstorms too much. Just a light to moderate rainstorm would be great. But that's all right. It's good for spring. It's good for all the plants. Does anybody do any gardening? because I enjoy some gardening, and that'll be something that I will do later on. You're okay? Oh, that's good that you're okay. Oh, I'm starting to smell the banana bread, and it smells really delicious. I'm so excited to try this. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then eventually. Oh, well, when you get a box garden, I can help you out with that. Oh, that's good. You're safe in your house. Yeah. Okay, so make it tall boxes. Yeah, Alex and I made a tall garden box at our previous house because we were renting, and so I couldn't plant anything in the ground. Um, but yeah, we made a tall garden box. I think it's like 4 feet by 4 feet, and I believe it's like a foot and a half deep or so. It's deep enough to have quite a lot of dirt in there for quite a few plants. Um, yeah, and we made it pretty easily, so it wouldn't be too hard to make a couple of tall garden boxes, and it was really nice because I didn't have to bend down to take weeds out. I was just able to kind of lean in and pluck weeds pretty easily. But yeah, we moved in February, and the guy that owned this house before, he worked nights, and so he slept during the day, and it's a really nice backyard, but it needs a lot of love. That he said that he just didn't have a green thumb, and he just didn't have the energy to get up or like to do yard work before he went to bed. So, you know, it needs a lot of love. And now that all the snow has melted, uh, my boyfriend and I, Alex, he helped me cut down a whole bunch of like small trees that were just kind of all over the place, and we took out these not so healthy looking dead bushes that were in this garden patch, and we're figuring out where we're going to plant everything. Oh, yeah, putting clothes away. Yeah, doing laundry is definitely a good thing to keep up on now. It's a good thing to keep a routine going. That way we don't go crazy. Well, no, don't go crazy, but we don't get a little cabin fever, I guess would be the term that's better to use. Oh, you like green thumbs, fingers, and hands. Do you have green wrists? Because if you have green wrists, you should stop wearing those fake metal bracelets. You might have an allergy to fake metal. I'm sorry. uh, thank you. Thank you for the laugh. Okay. All right. That was my one. That was my one bad pun per stream. Yeah, I've got a nickel allergy. Uh, I and it always made me feel so bad growing up because I would go into those like jewelry stores in the mall, like Claire's or Icing. I don't think Icing is a thing anymore. I think it's just all Claire's now. But I'd go in there and I'd see the cute little like unicorn earrings, or the ones covered in like the little fuzz that would just rub off as soon as you touched them. But I'd want those cute earrings and bracelets all the time, and I'm like, oh, I just want that so bad. But the first time I would buy a package, I'd put them in my ears, and then 2 days later, my earlobes are green, and it's like, man. Yeah, okay, yeah, I knew they were owned by the same company because it's all the same stuff. Um, but I haven't seen an Icing in forever. So I think at the Mall of America, there's like 4 Claire's. There's like one on each floor, and it's just like that Lids store with the hats. I mean, they have like 2 on each floor. Why do you need that many sports hats stores? It's too many. Nobody's gonna buy all those bucket hats, okay? There's only so many high school boys to buy those bucket hats. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, stupid jokes. All right. Well, 18 minutes left on my timer here, but it smells really good, and I'm really excited. I think they're gonna turn out well. Let's see, do I have an oven light? Oh yeah, I got an oven light button. I'm gonna check on it, but without opening the door. All right. Looking good so far. Smelling good too. So, we're gonna have banana bread pretty soon. They haven't risen very much. Oh, I'm glad you're having fun, April. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know you're having a good time. 'Cause, I mean, I'm having a good time just talking to myself, but it's nice to know that I'm able to help fill some time during the day and that you're having a good time and everybody's having a good time, learning things to bake. Yeah, I am, yes. I'm hanging out with 5 people in my kitchen, and we're all properly social distancing while hanging out. And that's great. But I definitely, I want to help teach people how to bake really great things at home. Oh, all right. Well, that's good to know. Well, that's all right. Bed hair, it's just letting you know you slept really well. You're really well rested from, the night. Oh, my glasses are filthy. I gotta clean these off real quick. You never realize how dirty your glasses are until you move them, and then you see things move along with your glasses, and it's like, oh, how was I able to see? Just barely, I guess. Okay, that's a little better. Probably not the best to wipe my glasses off on my shirt, but that's okay. These are just glasses. You got your Google Home Mini. That's pretty cool. You stuck your finger in a light socket. Did you lick your finger first? Or did you just go in there just naturally? No. Got your... Oh, and there's Gordon again. Hi, kitten. Yeah, come here. Come say hi. So this is my cat, Gordon. Hi. Say hi, everybody. This is my sweet little baby boy. I think he's very vocal, so he'll probably show up in mini streams. Thank you. He is very cute. He's a very sweet cat. Very patient cat. Yeah. He's just kind of hanging around, walking around. I'm surprised Billy, my parrot, hasn't chimed in. He's just right inside the living room that I've got a Nande conure. He's a kind of a subspecies of medium-sized parakeet, and he's really sweet. He's very vocal too. He chirped pretty early in my first stream, so you'll be able to hear him in there. So I guess it's Gordon's turn this time. He's just standing right inside the living room, yelling. But, but now that I've touched the cat, definitely, oh, thank you. He's a very good cat. But I'm going to wash my hands again, just so I don't forget before I start handling the food. Hi, kitten. you yelling so much today? What's going on? Did you see another cat outside? Yes, I can't wait for whenever we're able to have, people over at the house, trying to kind of like stay in there, figuring out what's going on. But we definitely want to have, like a housewarming party. We want to have the backyard in pretty good shape. That way we can all hang out outside, and we need to reseed the lawn because there's so many weeds. There's so many weeds and so many dead patches. So we'll probably, I know the first step, as soon as it kind of dries out, I'll be, spraying the yard to kind of get rid of a lot of the weeds, and then we will put down new grass seed so we can get some of that. Oh, you're cleaning the floor? Yeah, that's an important thing to do. Just getting the house chores done and out of the way. Hopefully you're able to relax once you're done with all of your chores. And so I've got a couple that I still need to do, but that's all right. Not much happening today. Just making banana bread, hanging out with you all. I'll probably play some more Animal Crossing. It's something that's definitely something that's helped. Oh, your sister got a dog? Oh, that's cool. Is it a good dog? I mean, most dogs are good dogs, but what kind of a dog did your sister get? Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, and what's the dog's name? Oh, tell us all about the dog, April. We love dogs. Definitely, I hope to be able to get a dog eventually. We'll have to put up a new fence in the backyard first, but getting a dog would be so much fun. Alright. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, 11 minutes left. Black and white, and her name is Pepper Potts. Oh, that's so cute. Aw. That's so cute, April. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Oh, you're gonna make banana bread on lunch break? Yeah. Did your sister name the dog Pepper Potts, or was that her name when she was adopted? Because that's something that's been happening a lot. Gotta refill my coffee. It's a little cold. But that's something that's been happening a lot during this quarantine period, is that people are adopting animals to, I guess have a companion at home, because I guess this is the time where if you do work from home, or if you're home a lot more, then if you've wanted to get an animal, I suppose it's a good time to get an animal, because you're able to help them adjust to being home. Or from Iron Man 3, love that movie. I love pretty much most of the Marvel movies. That was something I did actually at the beginning of me being home a lot more, is that I watched all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in like chronological order from when they happened. I had to look it up. I had to look up the list of what order to view the movies in, just so I'd have like a good full timeline of movies to watch. So that took me a couple of days, but only a couple of days to watch like 18 movies, because I just have movies going on in the background for noise, kind of like just like not white noise, but just to fill the empty space, since I'm home alone a lot. Well, not completely alone. I've got the bird and the cat, but me being the only human in the house. Oh, that's so fun though. Is Pepper Potts a good dog? is, you know, well behaved and really sweet. Oh, it's just such a cute name for a dog. I love that so much. Let's put some more of my tools away that I'm not using. Oh, that's good. It's a nice, sweet dog. Alright, so we have 8 minutes for our first banana bread check. And I am so ready for it. Super excited. It smells delicious. Oh, it's making me so hungry. I'm ready for this breakfast. Oh. Gordon found a little piece of paper that he's batting around. I guess fun fact about Gordon, my cat, is that he likes playing fetch. That I figured it out when I was still living with my parents because they have a dog. Her name is Maggie, and she is the sweetest yellow lab ever. Oh, yeah, Dagny does too. But yeah, I was playing fetch, just kind of like gently tossing a tennis ball in the house, and probably not the best thing to do. Probably want to play outside, you know, with the dog if you're, you know, playing fetch. You don't want to knock something over because Maggie is a big dog. She weighs like 90 pounds. But I was just gently kind of like tossing the ball into the dining room from the living room, and she'd bring it back. And Gordon, he would chase after the ball too, and I'm like, oh, you know, he's playing with Maggie, that's great. And I decided to, you know, test it like, oh, what if I could teach Gordon how to play fetch? That would be cool. So I found this smaller ball, just like a teeny little, like, bouncy ball. So it'd be big enough for Gordon to pick up with his mouth because the tennis ball would be way too big for him. And I toss it, and he follows it, and he just kind of like bats around and plays with it. But then it's like, okay, I'll just keep doing this, and maybe eventually he'll pick it up. And he did, and he loves playing fetch. That he'll... Oh, a little blue elephant. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, Gordon is really particular with what he'll play fetch with. That I crocheted a little ball for him out of some extra yarn because he likes something that he can hold in his mouth without it being like, I don't want to say too crispy, but I guess too hard. He likes something soft to pick up. Because if it's something that's really firm, like a plastic ball, then he won't pick it up with his mouth. He'll just kind of like play around with it with his paws, and then he'll walk away. But I have this little crocheted yarn ball for him that he'll pick up. Yeah, I guess it's just more comfortable for a cat to pick something up that's soft. But I'm sure there's cats out there somewhere that enjoy picking up something that's a lot more firm, like plastic. Or I know Gordon sometimes really wants to play with like this. It's a cat toy specifically. It's a little ball that has like little pieces of plastic in it. That way, when the ball moves around, it will shake and it'll make like a little rattling noise. And occasionally he'll play with that, but for the most part, he'll just bat that around and then leave it be. Oh, 4 minutes left. Oh, I'm so excited for bread. It's probably going to need a little bit longer, but we will test it. Yes, Gordon? Can I help you? Hi. I'm sorry, I don't know where your ball is. It's probably under the couch. He's a very vocal cat. Really likes talking, and sometimes I like to think that he understands what I'm saying. Hi. No, I'm not going to pick you up again. I have to take bread out of the oven soon. No. Okay. I know, I keep talking about his bouncy ball, and now I don't know where it is. Oh, is that like a common black cat thing? Well, that's interesting. Well, that's really cool. Huh. Gordon's the first black cat that I've had, but oh, that's really cool. Well, I like that. I like that he's really talkative, because he's so cute, and it seems like he's very present in what's happening. Um, but sometimes I do wish he would be quiet. He gets up at about 5:30 every morning, and that's when I'm supposed to wake up, I guess, to feed him. So you know, he'll start walking around the house, yowling loudly to wake everybody up so somebody will give him his breakfast. He needs breakfast before the sun is up. Don't you know that? Ugh. But he's a pretty well-behaved cat. Never really had any aggression problems with him, but I mean, I had him fixed pretty much as soon as I could. But he's pretty much an indoor-only cat, because it's definitely something to be mindful of if you have outdoor cats, that outdoor cats are responsible for the extinction and, mass killing of a lot of birds. That cats are predatory, but house cats are predatory to a point that they just don't have impulse control. And so that's definitely something, to be mindful of, that if you do have like an indoor-outdoor cat, then, just being careful with what they're doing, and I guess being mindful that, we just have to take care of our environment. We have to take care of the animals that live outside our houses, and spay and neuter your pets, 'cause we don't need a lot of feral cats out there in the world. And I feel like I'm one of those announcers in a game show, at the end of the episode, like, and remember, tip your waitress and spay and neuter your pets. Yep, one of those classic game show host closers. But it is good advice. Oh, alright, there's the end. Oh, I turned off my oven. Alright, so then, just like last time, definitely have something to take things out of the oven with, because you definitely don't want to burn yourself, and you just want to be very careful with the hot pans. So then we'll check these out and just give them a touch. If they feel firm, like if you're pressing down in the middle of the bread, then you should be able to press down and it will bounce back up to show that the bread structure has developed and that it is baked all the way through. But I'm not just going to trust that. I'm also going to get a little something to poke it with. Let's see if I have something right here. I do not. So I'm going to get a knife. Just get one of my kitchen knives, and I'm going to stab the middle of one of the loaves of bread. And you kind of want to go in at an angle, that way you're checking multiple layers of the bread. And it is coming out clean. There's a little bit of peanut butter in there, because I know I stabbed a peanut butter chip, but that's okay. But it's coming out clean, so I'm going to call these good. So like I said, for my oven, it took only about 45 minutes out of the suggested hour. Oh, you have a metal chopstick? Yeah, that works too. Rip in peace, peanut butter chip. All right, and these do look a little pale on the top, but that's all right. There's not a lot of sugar in this batter, and that's usually, why something will darken. The more sugar you have, the darker something will turn, especially if I had used brown sugar in this recipe, because it has that added molasses in there. And so it would add like a darker color to the batter and therefore a darker color to the top of the bread. But it is done. So delicious, delicious banana bread. It didn't rise very much. So I guess, Kat, if you have a bread bent, like I could probably have put both of these bread loaves into one pan and have one really tall loaf. But if you wanted the smaller loaves, that way you get kind of like smaller breakfast slices, then that's fine. But I definitely think that those are going to be so, so delicious. And I'm so excited to be able to cut into one. I'm going to let these rest for a little bit, and then I probably will cut these on stream just so everybody can see the inside texture, and it'll be so delicious. So yes, we successfully made banana bread. That's great. All right. Let's see. So yeah, probably for yes. Oh yes, we made banana bread. We did it, and it smells delicious. And I can't wait to fry a couple eggs and probably make some bacon to go with this banana bread for like a really delicious breakfast. And yep, banana and bread. Yeah, I think adding the batters in one pan would be fine. And I guess, Kat, if you're doing a double batch, then I guess how many loaves? If you're doing a double batch, then I guess the double batch will make 2 large loaves instead of the 2 smaller loaves. So what pan? I forgot. Yeah, you have 3 pans. Yeah, so you could probably split the double batch between the 3 pans and get 3 pretty good sized loaves. And 2 regular sized and a big one. Are they just like the square cake pans? Because you said you didn't have any like bread loaf pans, right? I feel like that's something you said. Oh, loaf pans. Okay, yeah. Right, you replaced the ones that he who shall not be named ruined. Because a man that goes to culinary school should know how to take care of his baking pans. Oh, that makes me so mad. Abused those baking pans. Abused them. Yes, usually with your baking pans, definitely want to check whether or not they are dishwasher safe or they need to be hand washed. That's definitely something to check. Used him for his smoker to soak his wood chips. Oh man. Well, yes, I can admit that it is a bit of a brutal judgment, but it's knowing how to take care of your equipment is something that people should know, Don't look at your cooking ware. Well, it's like if you cook really just for yourself, then that's fine. If that's how you want to wash your pans, then that's fine. But somebody that like myself or like the person that Kat is kind of talking about went to culinary school, works in restaurants, or I work in bakeries where equipment and bakeware is very expensive to replace, and so definitely being careful, treating everything like your baby, if it is your baby, mainly because I don't have children. I don't know if I'll have children, but I'm definitely fine treating my kitchen items like my children. I love them, and I hope that they will love me back. Because I definitely want to keep baking for a really long time, and I don't want to have to replace my bakeware every year, you know? It's like if you have one pair of shoes and you wear them for everything, they're gonna wear out quicker. So you want to take care of your shoes, you want to take care of your feet. It's just taking care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, taking care of the rest of your things. I'm saying the words taking care a lot. I need to stop. It's just important to know that, if you're gonna bake something and you have bakeware that's good quality, or even something that you just bought at your regular grocery store in their little bakeware aisle, it's good to know how to properly take care of your items. That way it doesn't, break or wear out sooner than it's supposed to. I guess that's my /end rant. So, kind of let this cool off a bit. Oops, so I'll just get a cutting board. And let's see here. I guess for depanning anything, you'll want to have a knife or a spatula of some sort. That way you can run the blade around the edge to kind of loosen any pieces up that have stuck to the side or bottom of the pan that have stuck around. So then we will just kind of gently shake it out. Yes. We have our cute little banana loaf. All right. So then, like I said, the banana bread, it didn't rise very much. That's about how much batter I put in there. So it would definitely, I would have been able to fit all of the batter into one pan. But since it's been a long time since I've made this banana bread, I wasn't sure how much it would rise. But yes, here is our delicious banana peanut butter chocolate chip bread. And I'll just give it a slice. Then slicing bread, you want to use a bread knife, which is nice and serrated. Then just kind of let the blade do the work. Because it's a serrated knife. Thank you. I actually ordered this knife set online, and I've really enjoyed it. The knives have stayed sharp for a really long time. It came with like a little magnetic knife block. Alright, yes. Ooh, and it's still nice and hot. This would probably be a bread that if you want to eat it fresh, definitely feel free to eat it fresh and hot. And then I'll get a cute little plate. Plate up our delicious banana bread. Alright, so then there it is. There's our delicious banana bread with peanut butter chips and chocolate chips in there. Does anybody have any final questions about the bread that we baked today? You're looking at your monitor. Well, stop doing that. You're not going to be able to taste anything through your monitor. But I went through the entire recipe at the beginning of the video, and I did how much is too much to eat in one sitting. I will leave that up to your discretion, your personal discretion. Yes. Well, James, I went through the whole recipe at the beginning, and I had posted the visual ingredient list on my Twitter and my Instagram. So definitely feel free to go back and rewatch and bake along. Yeah, I bet you can't eat just one loaf of banana bread, because I've got two here. Wow, Jimmy, why does your mom let you have 2 banana bread loaves? Okay, I need to stop with the puns. Right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me in my second stream while we made banana bread together. And definitely feel free to go back and watch and bake along. If you have any suggestions, feel free to message me on any of my social medias for any suggestions of recipes that you would like to see made, or even just questions about my baking process, or any questions about this baking process. And I hope you all have a great Thursday. Thank you. Bye.